Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. Today we have MLW Fusion 194. It features, of course, the MLW Women's Featherweight Championship on the line. Janai Kai defends it in a three-way match. We do have a Battle Royal match, and then, of course, Akira gets his hands on RSP for betraying him not too long ago. Then we move on, of course, with Impact Wrestling with Hidden Gems. Now, this is not and continuing on with the storylines that go on in the regular shows on Thursday. These are matches that were never, how do I say, never been seen before. If you never attend a wrestling show, especially if it's televised, you know there are some matches you don't see on television. So we're actually going to see those as well. Then, of course, we have Ring of Honor in their go home show before Final Battle. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But first things first, as I said before, Stardom are now finish up their 2023 year with year end. Right now we're in day 4 with Osaka final. So tensions are becoming high in certain matches that are taking place before Ryogoku on the 29th of December. And then of course we cap it up with some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, any wrestlers that have been signed or departing from their promotions, and of course, injured wrestlers, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead It Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Lead It Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We do discussion videos, talk about talk about various topics from wrestlers, promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. If also I'm unable to put any updates that I couldn't do here on this episode, we can do it separately, so we'll do that as well, and other cool stuff. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool stuff. And also, if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment on the description down below. Now, let's begin with Stardom with year end. This took place recently on the 9th of December in Osaka. This is day 4 of their year end tour. So, our first match is a three-way match. We have the rookie Yusuke versus Saya Ida versus Mina Shirakawa. So, it's interesting to have this match started because you have certain wrestlers that you know. We have Yusuke, who is in fact in the how we see as the rookie, basically the less experienced wrestler. Now, of course, watching this match, you may think, oh, she's going to be the one to take the fall. But of course, there will be moments where we see Saya Ida, who is one of the shortest but strongest individual in this match. But it was Mina Shirakawa with the back fist on Yusuke to put her down, and boom, just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have tag team action. We have members from Stars consistent of Hanan and Azuki taking on DDM's Tekla and Mai Sakurai. So nothing significant of this match. However, I did like the the, the moments between both Hanan and Tekla. Now Tekla, she's a very predictable wrestler in the ring. Not to mention, always have that creepy little smile where she thinks she has everything under control. However, that wasn't the case until the young lioness herself, Hanan applied the 17 onto her. 1, 2, 3. It was over right from there. Next up, we have an 8-women tag team match. First, we have Oedo Tai consisting of Ruka, Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, and Natsuko Tora taking on their longtime rivals, and they've been in this war for a long time between them. We're talking about Queen's Quest featuring Miyu Amasaki, Azumi, Sayakami Tani, and Utami Aishida. Now remember, it was when Kamitani and Utami Aishida came back, they initially issued the challenge for the Goddesses of Stardom Championship, the tag titles, and of course, when they won those vacant titles, they were approached by, of course, Natsuko Tora and a familiar face from their past, Momo Watanabe, who was a former member of Queen's Quest. So this is part of their Ryogoku show on the 29th of December. So this is about building up momentum before that. So the obvious question, how will this end for today? To prove who will walk out with that momentum. Well, that seems to be the case when Momo Watanabe attacked Sayakami Tani. As you know, Momo hasn't forgotten the humiliation she suffered by her when she was the white belt champion. If you guys remember clearly, Momo had a 13 consecutive defenses, while it was Kamitani who broke that record with 15, and Kamitani decided to go after her. And Momo did not like that. But now she's going to try to shut her up, and she just did with the Peach Sunrise, and it was over from there. However, in the post match promo, they made it clear that they will be walking out on the 29th as the tag champions to make their title run short. However, of course, uh, Momo Watanabe made a very interesting comments towards Mirai. I don't know what was that all about, but it seems that she has her eyes set on her for some odd reason. But of course, Kamitani and Tamashia said they will never lose those belts to them. But you know, Oda Tai, they're very predictable about what they do. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match, we have, of course, two Gaijin wrestlers. This is a very interesting match. Now, as you know, we have Scandinavian Hurricane and versus Megan Bain. Now, you probably ask yourselves, how would this end? I wasn't too sure because, I mean, Scandinavian Hurricane does have ability at, throwing a little bit of the MMA style into this. However, you have Megan Bain, who is a bit of the powerhouse and the strongest individual of them all. So she applied the F5 on Scandinavian Hurricane, picking up the win. Now, our next match, we have Hanako teaming up with the members of Cosmic Angels, consisting of Yuna Mizumori and Sayori Noi. Yes, I said Cosmic Angels. As you know, Natsupoi and Tam Nakano are still out due to their injuries, but we do hear that they're doing well. I did a discussion video about that. So if you guys haven't hear that discussion session on the last episode, go ahead and check it out. I talked about Tam's career and her consideration about her quitting pro wrestling. So you should check it out. They take on the members of God's Eye, consistent of Amisuri, Shuri, and Mirai. Now, if you guys remember, it was Sayori Noi who initiated the another challenge against Mirai for the white belt again. Now, the last time these two confronted each other for this, it was in a time limit draw, which is, of course, in their case, very frustrating. So this is more of a preview. But, however, this is a direct message from Mirai to Suri when she witnessed her teammate, more specifically Mizumori, getting lariat by Mirai, showing her that she will walk out as the white belt champion. However, I know many people would say they would like to see Mirai. Others have said they would like to see Soino carry another Stardom belt. So we will see what happens on the 29th of December in Ryogoku. Now, our main event, this is another preview between two individuals opposite of each other. We have the tag team Crazy Star, consistent of Suzuki and a current high-speed champion, Mai Sita. They take on DDM, consistent of Micah and Julia. Now, if you guys remember the storyline between this is about Micah versus Suzuki for the red belt. You can tell that this is momentum between who will walk out with the momentum in order to win the vacancy of the red belt. So, however, as you know, Micah made Zuzu watched Maisida put her in a Michinoku driver, picking up the win. Now, if you guys remember clearly, Maika believes in her heart that Zuzu is unfit to be the Red Belt champion and does not represent the company properly. She feels that she could lead Stardom into the future. So we will see what happens. But of course, Julia in the post match sent a direct message to Megan Bayne, who is after her New Japan Strong Women's title. We will see what happens until then. I think that's pretty much it right now with Stardom. I believe it's time for MLW. Okay, MLW Fusion 194. Now, I did not see the recent pay per view one shot, but I can tell you that Alex Kane retained the title thanks to some mishaps that the World Titan Federation got themselves into. However, we did witness the return of Richard Holiday, who is now in league with the World Titan Federation. And of course, Richard Holiday, the last time we saw him, he had one thing in desire, and that is, of course, the MLW World Heavyweight title. So it looks like they're gunning for that. But they did announce for a brand new pay per view show that will take place very soon. That is called Holiday Rush on December 24th, which ironically is also my birthday. So, yep, my birthday is on Christmas Eve. So, just letting everybody know. But let's see how that day turns out. I'm considering maybe taking the day off, but we'll see. But anyway, let's move on. How the show opened up. Well, as you know, Matt Cardona failed to obtain the World Heavyweight title, and Mr. Saint Laurent was crying like a little girl, doesn't know what to do. Of course, Tom Lawler, who had to get him, as you say, get your head out of your ass and let's regroup to be coming back for revenge and get everything. Because, of course, the World Time Federation, their ultimate goal is not only just to control MLW, but to turn it into a sports entertainment promotion in their vision. So they will regroup and take back what is rightfully theirs. Now, our first match is a battle royal match. Now, I can tell you there was a lot of wrestlers. I mean, we did see Love Doug and the guy who beat him up. We did see Griffin McCoy there and a few others. So there was a lot. But however, I can tell you that this match ended with, of course, Josh Bishop representing the World Titan Federation, tossing Matthew Justice out of the ring and put him through the table. So we'll see what happens. Now, Jacob Fatu, as you know, he had unfinished business towards um, Hammerstone for what he did. So he made this official. Let's take this at Holiday Rush. So I think many fans are looking forward to that. Now, our next match is for the MLW Women's Featherweight title. Tiara James, who has an impressive undefeated record, faces against the former champion Delmi Exo and the current champion Janai Kai. So you probably ask yourselves, how would this be? But of course, Selena De Laurenta, who's by her side, was determined to ensure that this belt remains with Janai Kai and more specifically Promociones Dorada. So that was the case. But it was Janai Kai with a spinning roundhouse kick that put her away once and for all, pinning the former champion. So, however, Tiara James, I can tell you this, that even though she has an undefeated record, she did not lose or did not win. So, I have to say she does have a good, compelling record from there. Now, as you know, one called Manners is hanging out with his new friend and now member of the um, second gear crew, mask number 3, which we all know is Mance Warner. So anyway, they're probably setting up their plan for what's next for them at the moment. Now, let's move on with our next match. We have the returning of the biggest a-hole on the planet, Tony Deppen. He takes on Nolo Katana. Now, remember, Nolo Katana was screwed out of a match against TJ Crawford, even though we know Tony Deppen, with that little ignorant smile, would do anything to get a win. Of course, he low blowed Nolo Katana when the referee did not see it, but apparently he gave like a somewhat of a version of a shining wizard to Nolo Katana to pick up the win. And of course, he goes out in the promo saying all this and that, being an arrogant SOB that he is. And of course, here comes Kevin Blackwood, who hasn't forgotten what happened. So security and refs try to restrain him, but sooner or later, Kevin Blackwood will get his hands on him. Now, Ichiban for a while has been demanding a match against Rocky Romero for the MLW World Middleweight title. They've been denying him, beating him up to it, but it seems that none of it worked. So Selena Del Renta decided to do something about it herself, put herself in a match against him. Now you can say it's unwise, but knowing La Bruja, she has something up her sleeve, and you know it. Our next match, we have T.J. Crawford versus Kevin Blackwood. Well, Tony Deppen, the biggest a-hole, is in commentary, not doing a thing. But however, of course, Griffin McCoy was going to help him out, but apparently, bye. So he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. So basically, he was sent to the back, but it was a stomp by Blackwood to Crawford, and it was over. Of course, Kevin Blackwood told him that he'll get his hands on him sooner or later. He did not initially attack them while he was commentary, but of course, Deppen was not happy with this loss. But sooner or later, this between Deppen and Blackwood will have to come about. Now, at Holiday Rush, it was announced that Bumaye Fight Club, more specifically Alex Kane and Mr. Thomas, will be challenging for the MLW World Tag Team titles against Second Gear Crew. Now, they are willing to admit, yes, we have no beef. We know you guys are the toughest individuals, so are we. But of course, Alex Kane does have a problem, and that is the the World Time Federation, and all this and that. So we will see what happens until then. Now, our main event, this is for the MLW National Openweight title. Now, before this match, RSP attacked Akira, trying to send him to the hospital, but Akira showing that he's not going to back down or let this attack stop him. Initially went out and attack, you know, show him that he has guts than him. But however, that wasn't the case. It was RSP who walked away, retaining the title with the DDT. But later they decided to emasculate Akira by shaving off the top of his head to send a direct message. But the obvious thing is Akira going to get his revenge against RSP? We will see, because the way I see it, Akira is all alone in this. He has no friends, no backup. So we will see what happens the following week after that. And I think that's pretty much it right now with MLW. It's time for Impact Wrestling. Okay, Impact Wrestling. Now, this is not continuing on with the storylines and other segments that we see normally on Thursday. This one is called Hidden Gems. Now, as wrestling fans, who attended, I don't care if it's AEW or WWE, you know there's like those dark matches that they normally don't put on television. Well, Impact Wrestling decided to, because like you know the year is coming to an end, let's show those hidden gems out there that we normally don't see. I have to say, watching these really showed really interesting matches that I wish we could have seen, but it never did. But looking forward to it. Now, our first match they showed, this dates back all the way to, I believe, October in Chicago, Illinois. We have Alan Angels taking on Samurai del Sol. It was a pretty good match, you know. This is more of an X Division showcase between them. There was a moment where Alan Angel was attempting to remove the mask from Samurai del Sol, but however, he was to reverse it when he applied like a top rope sliced bread or something, and boom, just from there, Samurai del Sol picked up the win. Our next match, this is from June in Atlanta, Georgia. We have Savannah Evans and Giselle Shaw taking on the Knockouts tag team champions MK Ultra. So this is a very interesting match. Now we have seen how MK Ultra have developed that cohesion team that many people say could they get along due to the fact that they had a great rivalry from the very start, and then becoming tag teams. Well, a very not sick, more of dimensional rivalry between them. But that's how I see it. So it was a pretty good match, but they were able to put the one person away right away as soon as they got the moment. Savannah Evans got really spiked, like a somewhat of a spike power driver, something like that. I don't know, sure, but they were able to pin her. Giselle Shaw was very late to help her out, so they walked out with the win. Now our next match that they showed, this was also um forgot what this one was in. It was a street fight, Diener versus PCO. Now, of course, Diener had Alan Angels and Khan right there helping him out. But remember, this was around the time when Sammy Callahan was, in fact, in a war with the design, and he brought in his old pals, OVE, Ohio Hates, um, Ohio versus Everyone, or Everything, I think what it's called. And they helped PCO to pick up the win when he applied the PCO salt on Diener. Just like that, it was over. The next match was in August in Ontario, Canada. We have the so-called guy who hates pro wrestling, Dirty Dango, and his dumb manager Bravo, taking on local talent from that area, Shannon Decker. Well, ironically, we will see him again. Uh, he teams with none other than Tommy Dreamer. I have to say it was an interesting matchup. But I thought in the back of my head that Shannon Decker was going to be the X factor to lose this match against Dango and Bravo. But nope, it was in fact Dreamer who DDT Bravo because he was an idiot, and got himself into that. But yep, and this was a good win for Decker. No, the reason is, since I said he was a local talent from the Toronto area, so that's great to see. Next match, we have the Knockouts World Title. This was back in June in Atlanta. Taylor Wilde was the challenger to face off Deonna Purrazzo. Now, this was the time when the Coven were still running around making headways. However, of course, Kylan King was going to get herself involved in this match, but it didn't do any well until Deonna Purrazzo applied the Queen's Gambit. 1, 2, 3. It was over. Now, our final match, this was back in September in Memphis, Tennessee. This was the actual official match of Yuya Uemura, and he takes on the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. I have to say, what a match. I mean, of course, his excursion was done. Many people probably expected that. We all know where he is now. He is currently in Japan. But this was a pretty good match, I'm not going to lie. But it was, of course, very emotional. I mean, they put everything in front of them to take one each other out. But unfortunately, it was Josh Alexander with the C4 spike that put him away. And Yuya Uemura, this was his last official match before we know where he ended up. Those who haven't figured that don't haven't caught on, remember now. Well, should I say you guys know where he is? He's with just 5 guys. He just recently competed at World Tag League, even though they did not make it all the way through. So, but they do hope they get to see him again. I mean, sure, I like to see him again in Impact. I mean, I felt like he fit right in right there. But we'll just wait and see till then. But right now, let's move on with our final review, Ring of Honor. All right, Ring of Honor. They were in Montreal as well. It opened up with a proving ground match for the Ring of Honor World Title. Evil Uno, who is a Canadian wrestler who gets a standing ovation, faces off Eddie Kingston. Now, of course, Evil Uno is the favorite in this general area where they're at. Was going to be the one be supported, but it was Kingston who walked away with the back fist, retaining his title. But he told the guys in the back to put on his music to give Evil Uno the standing ovation that he deserves. I think many people were happy to know even though he did not win, at least Evil Uno gets the applaud that he deserves. Next up, we have Layla Hirsch versus Katrina Cross. I have to say this shows a little bit of a brand new Layla Hirsch, but she was able to pick up a win with a very unusual method. Normally, we would see her do a submission move, but she did something where Cross was intending to use a spear Layla Hirsch, but she kicked her right in the forehead and knocked her out just like that. I have to say that's something new, but it was effective. Not gonna lie. Now, one of the semi-main event features a four-corner survival tag match, and Lexinier interviews the Outrunners, basically saying the same thing, that they are going to walk out as the winners, like every other team would say that. I mean, they already did that with the Workhorsemen, they did that with the Butcher and the Blade, and of course the Infantry. So we will see that as well. Now, our next match, we do another proving ground match. This time is for the pure title. Wheeler Yuta faces against Jason Geiger. I don't know who he is. However, Wheeler Yuta was able to have Jason Geiger, how do I say, use all of his rope breaks, but however, he was put in a very deep submission and it was ended right there. So basically, the ref made the choice to stop it. Now, our next match, we have the Iron Savages versus and Jack Jamison taking on Dalton Castle and the boys. Now you probably think this is going to be a very interesting match, but however, Castle drank the sauce, a drink that the Iron Savages drink all the time, and apparently it worked in his favor. Took out the Iron Savages. Then he asked for a boy, but it was Jack Jamison who ended up on the wrong side of the batarang. So just like that, it was over. But of course, right in the end, Johnny TV, who has a bit of an issue towards him, well, he said, I'm ignoring you. Forget it. I'm not gonna ruin my chances. Now, our next match, we have Rachel Ellering versus Taya Valkyrie. Of course, we were gonna see Johnny TV be there, but the interesting thing is, Layla Hirsch walked away with the win, but not in this one. I mean, you look at Rachel Ellering, she is a bit of a powerhouse, but when it comes to Tal Valkyrie, she's on a different level from her. But she was able to pick up the win when she applied a curb stomp, which led to a disappointment with Maria, who was determined to be her manager, but Layla Hirsch knows she can pull it off. Later on, we did see Rachel Ellering with a bit of a, how do I say this, like later trying to get her, even though you lost, you can get back on it. So basically, she's trying to help her out. So that's a good thing. Now, Ethan Page, as you know, had an incredible match against Kenny Omega at Collision. So they talked to him after that match, saying that does this, does this will stop him from the goals that he's accomplishing. Remember, his goal when arriving to Ring of Honor, he wants to win the ROH World Title, but Tony Nese got in the way, tried to derail them from that. And of course, Tony Nese shows up, try to tell him to just quit. He wants him gone. He wants him to, you don't deserve to be in Ring of Honor. But sooner or later, someone will walk out, and I hope that's Ethan Page. Our next match, we have Cole Carter and Griff Garrison taking on Bobby Sharp and Sean Moore. Now, it was a good match, but however, I did like how, as you know, when the opponents did not see the tag in, Griff Garrison did that. It was Sean Moore who did not see Griff Garrison tag Cole Carter, but it was Griff Garrison with a forearm knockout that took out Moore and picked up the win for his team. So basically, we saw that was a pretty good one right there. So right now, we're gonna see how far Griff Garrison and Cole Carter can take their tag team to the next level. Next up, we have Shane Taylor versus Shannon Decker, who I ironically mentioned. We just talked to him about him in Impact Wrestling Hidden Gems. However, this was a bit of a momentum for Shane Taylor, who will get his hands on Keith Lee. And of course, he picked up the win when he applied a package power driver. And it's a direct message towards him. Now our next match is tag team action. We got the Righteous, Vincent and Butch taking on the Australian Takeover. I forgot their names, but you can tell that this match ended with the Righteous winning their match with the Autumn Sunshine. It was over right from there. We do see Brian Cage versus Gravity. I have to say, what a good match. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you can see that Gravity has that same kind of spirit as his older brother Bandito, but unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly what Brian Cage used. To me, it looked more like a Texas cloverleaf from the angle, but I'm not sure if anybody saw that. But it was he put him in a submission and forced him to tap. Now, our semi main event is the Four Corner Survival Tag Match. The Workhorsemen, the Outrunners, the Butcher and the Blade, and the Infantry. So basically, this is more of a match about who is going to be reigning supreme as becoming the top tag team in ROH. And I'm sure this is where the conversation is about the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. I think that's something that many people are going to be talking about. But however, in the end, it was the Butcher and the Blade that walked out when they pinned Turbo Floyd just like that. So this match could definitely be the conversation for that. So we will see what happens until then. Now, don't forget, our main event is another proving ground match for the Ring of Honor World Women's title. Athena versus Roxanne. Well, I can tell you this match ended quickly. But here comes in the end Billy Starks, as you know, attacked her, beating the crap each other. But there was a moment where we see Athena her was bleeding out from her nose. I have to say this is like one of those storylines where you say, "Well, Athena, you created a monster, you made her, deal with it." So that's what I think is going to happen. Don't forget, they will face each other for the title, and it's going to be the main event at Final Battle. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure all of you are too. I think that's pretty much it right now with our reviews. I believe it's time for news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is where we're going to talk about what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. First things first, we're going to keep updates on what the promotions are up to for upcoming events. First things up, we have GCW with a couple of events they did announce. Holiday special that will take place later on the 21st of December. We have Mike Bailey taking on Broski Jimmy Lloyd. Yes, Broski Jimmy Lloyd. Then we have, starting in 2024, Look at Me. We have EJ Francis, formerly known as Top Dollar, makes his return to GCW. Now, if you guys remember clearly, not too long ago, Top Dollar was out of WWE for a while until they brought him back. Now he's out again. He returns to GCW. Then, of course, we have the Coldest Winter 2 taking place in February 3rd in 2024. Mr. Danger returns. Now, they do announce a brand new show that will take place in February as well on the 9th. And this is the first time heading to Phoenix, Arizona. So that's right. GCW makes their way to Phoenix, Arizona. So if any subscribers are from the general area in Phoenix, Arizona, this is your chance to go see them now. Now, we haven't heard anything yet who will participate, but sooner or later, we will get that. Now, TNA has made some interesting announcements today as well. Well, you can say it's Impact Wrestling, but 2024 is TNA. Apparently, for the Snake Eyes event taking place on the 14th of January, we have part 2 between Josh Alexander and Will Ospreay. So that's right, we're going to see a bit of a rematch between those two. Again, last time these two confronted was in Bound for Glory. Will Ospreay won. So we'll see what that takes place. They even announced that Hijo del Vikingo will participate in both shows in Las Vegas as well, for Hard to Kill on the 13th of January and Snake Eyes on the 14th. Now, interesting developments. Eddie Edwards re-signs with TNA, so that means he's gonna stay. I think many fans are very happy with that. Oh, excuse me. West Coast Pros announced more for the Ill Manor show taking place on the 27th of January. The West Coast Pro Women's Championship will be on the line. Takumi Iroha defends it against Veni. That's going to be an interesting match to watch. I'm going to see how this one. And of course, House of Glory announced for their Brace for Impact show taking place on the 6th of January. Loki makes his return, so I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that. Now, interesting developments have taken place in the world of pro wrestling. Well, the first one, Yoshi Promotion, apparently Ice Ribbon, has announced that they made a new dealing. Apparently, they signed a contract with something called Project R. Now, not much about what it is, but of course, the ace of Ice Ribbon, Tsukasa Fujimoto. As you know, she's currently still out on maternity leave. She has picked up matches here and there, not a whole time, but she is an equal supporter of the promotion. This is what she had to say about that. She said, "It was a press conference in suits. Time as established. We established Ice Ribbon Company and signed a new contract with Earth Friends Tokyo handball, Earth Friends BM baseball, and all that." So basically, from what they're saying, they are. I don't know if they found partners or whatever it is, but it seems as good. I mean, many people don't know much about Ice Ribbon because they're not like Tokyo Shoe Pro or Stardom, so that's kind of obvious. So yes. Now, an interesting uh, thing. There's going to be like a. I'm not sure exactly. Surumi Natsu put out something on online about, if you guys remember, she was gone for 2 years. Not much has been told what she's been doing. The last time we heard, she was injured and all this, and this is certain things. Now, this is what she had to say. The truth about the Tsurumi's 2 year absence is the darkest is in her heart was taken over and was told by her man herself. So basically, she was not herself at the time. A man whispers and told Tsurumi Natsu, who mentally ill, struggled to make ends meet. The darkness that waited us, we accept take over tomorrow light heart. Then she talked about how her savings was depleted, and of course, she even talked about how she was, mentally breakdown. So basically, she was struggling in her 2 year absence. And I know it was not that easy for her. I mean, no one has heard from her since then. But of course, we all know where she's at now. I mean, she is wrestling. She's one of the co-founders of the a Nomads organization where they put in freelance Yoshi wrestlers, and she runs a bar. So she's doing good in a good place at this moment. Now, finally, once again, Chanyota has been, how do I say, caught in another situation. Now, I was not aware about this, but it turns out that Chanyota was supposed to be involved in the upcoming New Blood show. Apparently, there's been some sort of a problem. This is what happened. This is from the organization that Chanyota is from, the PPP Tokyo. We have recently encountered a problem regarding the participation of our affiliated players and others organization. Regarding this matter, we have already reached an agreement between both organizations through the formal apology. We will strive to move forward. Please refer to the image for details, including the background of publications. Now, if you guys remember clearly, uh, Stardom had a sponsorship with a German hair product company. They did not like Chanyota. I don't know if that thing is still going on, but Stardom actually issued an apology to Chanyota. So this is what they said. We apologize for the inconvenience caused to Chanyota, PPP Tokyo, and everyone involved regarding this matter. We will work hard to prevent recurrences, restore trust in our company, and develop the professional wrestling world. We appreciate the continued support from both organizations. Now, of course, we know that this is the thing that I often say about to everybody. if you guys know this or not, Chanyota has been involved in adult films. So we need to ask ourselves, do we really care about that? Or if you're a wrestling fan and you've seen her wrestle, you can say, man, she can wrestle. Yes. I mean, she can wrestle. Gonna lie about that. But people intend to put her side job as the top of discussion. That's always been the case. But this is what she had to say. As announced, the schedule which we had scheduled to participate in the race was canceled without prior notice. To be honest, I was quite shocked when I found out, but I'm fine now. I received an apology and explanation, this matter is now settled. I will work hard on muscle training both at Christmas and at the year end. So it appears that she was scheduled to participate in the next upcoming Stardom event, but apparently someone has failed to inform her that. So whatever was going on, it caused a problem. I'm sure Stardom did not want this to happen, and I'm sure they would like to work together with the promote with PP Tokyo down the line because this is ridiculous. So, as you know, if you don't want this person, you gotta let them know. But it appears that Chanyota knows if she cannot be involved right now, and they would want to do it again. Right now, she's gonna focus on training herself from here on out through Christmas, through all the way to the end of the year. So that's great that she's in good spirits. So we will see. Hopefully, we get her participate again. So I think that's pretty much it what we have. So let's just call it a day. Excuse me. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. As you know, we have AW Rampage and of course um, NXT Level Up. So I'm not sure how this was gonna go. Currently, I'm actually on Friday. I'm gonna be busy with other things. I'll probably make keep this into a minimum. It all depends on how my day turns out. But we'll just see about that at the moment. But at the moment, this is what I'm my plan for it. So we'll see how that turns out for Friday. But I just hope you guys enjoy this episode. Clearly. So right now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.